All right, good morning, everybody. We obviously have a bit of a gap up here from the NVIDIA earnings, most likely. We had some data this morning as well, but most likely the NVIDIA earnings. We are filling in most of the gap. You can actually consider the gap pretty much filled in, but it doesn't really matter if it's filled in if there is a wick like that, because you still have that kind of unfilled area. You want to fill it in with value and then kind of trade below it, right? You don't want to fill it in with a wick and then shoot off of it. So we have filled that in on the overnight with a wick, which is why we're kind of getting that retest right here, trying to fill it in with actual value. If it does stay above that gap fill around that 710, 720, look for around 50 and then 75. If it stays below it, we're going back down to value, which is 96 and 80. Same story on NASDAQ. If it stays above the gap, look for that 705 and then around 30,000. If it stays below the gap, then obviously we are filling in that value of yesterday around 307 and 190. Same exact reaction. You came down to that gap, you wicked it, and now we have a little bit of a pullback because that is not a proper fill-in. But so far, they are staying above the gap, so they are slightly bullish. You could also consider it kind of a capital P if you consider that gap being like the lower tail. Keep an eye on VWAP. Okay, pretty strong sell pressure out of the gate here. They rejected those buyers around that 17 to 20. And here is that overnight low, which is basically where that wick is on that gap fill. So big levels to watch today, 440 to like 430 on NASDAQ. And then like around 710, 720 on ES. Keeping an eye on that gap. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Banana AT. Good morning, Jay, Abby, Panama, Stephen, Larry, Greg, Mike. Good morning, Rob, eBay, Lumir, Peter. Good morning, Julio, Louise, Future, Leo, Joan, Fernando. Good morning, Ollie. Good morning, D, Ryder, Faraj, Stronger, Ray, Crypto, Sam. Appreciate you guys being here. Good morning. Not getting a ton of bearish delta down here. The delta that we are getting is kind of getting stuck. Still have a lot of bullish delta from that open. You can see that in the widget here. Delta is up 1.5 to 2,000. Even though price is going down a little bit. Obviously seeing a ton of headlines about Nvidia this morning because they have such a big gain on their earnings. They're up 6% on earnings there. Good morning, T. Good morning, Stream. Good morning, Scott. Delta's still going up, now 2.4 thousand. Oh yeah, let me cover that data as well. So we had unemployment at 203, goods at negative 1.18 over, or sorry, 118 over 100, and then wholesale at 1.3 over 0.2. The bigger data comes out tomorrow. The symposium also starts later today, but mostly tomorrow. Good morning, CB. Keep it on VWAP here. Like I said, that bullish delta was coming in non-stop. Obviously, that bull dip has turned off now. Delta was up like 2,000 even though price was going down. And now they have completely corrected that. Price is going up. And delta is going up. Here is VWAP. Those sellers being trapped on that overnight low, which is the exact level we talked about earlier, which is that gap. So we're wicking the gap not once, but now we are doing it twice. Can that gap be seen on the daily? It can, yeah. So the gap is a little bit weird on the daily. It's kind of a wick gap. The gap on the daily goes down to like 90, 690. The reason I don't use wicks on the gaps like these is because normally when you can see the gap on a daily like this, but then you have wicks, that can be the tails, that can be like closing spikes. Usually it's just not where there is a lot of value, right? It's lacking value in those wicks. So normally when it's filled in like this, where it's just wick to wick, it's not actually being filled in. It's kind of a trap. So you want to see it get filled in with a strong candle like these candles, because then you know for the most part there is strong value there. Like you could argue that this is a gap as well, because there is still a wick to wick move, and we have not filled that in with a body of a candle. And the reason I do it that way, if you go back and back test it on the daily, you can see for yourself. Most of the time when those gaps are filled in with just wicks, they are retested and filled in with a body of a candle anyway. Pretty big spike here with a block trade, possibly a headline or maybe just a big block trade. I don't see any headlines. It just looks like a pretty big block trade. We're back above that 10 to 20 gap, so keep an eye on 50 to 75. NASDAQ above the 440 gap. The 705 is the trade plan level. Holding our 30-minute trail on NVIDIA, so NVIDIA is still strong for now. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of this, these like sharp moves, the block trades, a lot of delta coming in, because you have a lot of big stuff happening today and tomorrow. Buyers are very weak on the top side there. Above VWAP, they are extremely weak. Below VWAP, they are much stronger. Another wait and see type of candle. Tried to break down, didn't like it. Tried to break up, didn't like it. But now they are just waiting for something to happen. We're sitting right on last week's VWAP. This dotted line here, that is last week's VWAP. You can see we had all that overlap down here. Got to a decision point where it really couldn't chop out for much longer. And then obviously NVIDIA earnings pushing us out of that. If it does continue to be very bullish, obviously you just target upper tail, upper tail, upper tail. You just keep going. This one obviously would be a lower tail. It's overlapping the upper tails. And then back into this much higher value back here. That'd be like the longer term target, like 7,800. But that's if we can even continue to build higher value here. Halfway through passing your eval, awesome, man. Yeah, you really can't trade 25K accounts in this market. It's really just a gamble if you're trading 25Ks. That's why I don't let you guys enter the raffle with 25Ks. They're just not really a sustainable account right now. Even on like 1 or 2 micros, it is still a lot of size for those accounts. 50Ks are the minimum, and even on certain days that were very volatile, 50Ks are even pushing it a little bit. Right now, the 100Ks, the 150s, maybe the 250 legacies, those are a lot safer. It doesn't even matter if you're using micros, really. The size is still very dangerous. Like, typically I recommend trading 2 contracts minimum so you can do the multiple exits. Because having 1 contract, you're basically training yourself that you have to be perfect. And if you're not perfect, your trade just falls apart. So having multiple exits definitely helps a lot. Both mentally and just with consistency. So trading 1 contract, which is probably the proper size on the 25K right now, based on volatility, is pretty tight. You're going to be doing a very large percentage of your drawdown or your profit in 1 single day. With the 50K accounts right now, I'd recommend around like 2 to 3, 2 to 4 micros. And like I said, on certain days, even that is pushing it. Yeah, exactly. Have 2 micros, keep 1 as a runner. Exactly, yeah. Karini, that's actually a good thing. Like that, if you want to keep the account, it auto-renews and resets the account for you. So that's how the legacy accounts used to do things before they changed their system. So if you blew an account, instead of just buying another one, you would just let it auto-renew with the subscription fee, and it would just reset the account. So for example, if my reset is tomorrow, and I blow the account today, I just let it reset tomorrow and it's back to normal. They charge you way more. Most of their promotions are recurring. You might have got one of the promotions that is not recurring. Like right now, if you buy a legacy account right now, it's 90% off, but the recurring is 80% off, so you pay a 10% extra fee. If you paid like full price, that's pretty rare. Almost all their promotions are slightly recurring. They're not exactly recurring. It's not like 90 to 90. Sometimes it's 90 to 80 or 90 to 70. But if you paid full price, then yeah, that's not optimal. You don't want to pay full price. Yeah, exactly, Jay. I constantly tell you guys to size properly, size down. Don't start with 20 accounts, like all that shit. Obviously, it hurts my commission fees. If you guys were buying 20 accounts every single person in here, I'd be making more money, right? But I don't give a shit. I want to help you guys protect yourself and protect your capital as much as possible. That's why I literally have multiple videos going over proper sizing, and I have entire write-ups in Discord going over proper sizing. And if you follow my proper sizing, it's pretty hard to just constantly blow accounts. So like I said, if you follow what I say, it actually hurts me more than it helps me. Volume is really good right now, 175. You bought them at 19. Oh, you probably had like a special promotion, yeah. Yeah, if you do one of the special promotions where they're like way cheaper than they typically should be, even if they recur at like what 80% or 90%, you still pay more when it recurs than you paid for the initial purchase. You always want to keep an eye on Apex's deals and see if they recur at that price. They make it pretty clear in their emails, like this is the 90% off deal now, then it recurs at 80%, or they'll say whatever it does. So just keep an eye on whatever they recur at. If you want to let them recur in the first place, you don't have to. You can just cancel the account and buy a new one. Believe me, I run a Discord. I deal with the same amount of customer reports, or not amount. I deal with the same type, nowhere near the amount. I deal with the same type of those customer tickets, I guess you would say. When people see the same thing with my Discord, I'll have like a big discount, and it will recur at full price or recur at a higher price. That's why around this time of year, actually, you guys are going to start seeing me post in Discord. I'm going to start reminding you guys that this is when the annual fee starts coming up. If you guys bought the Black Friday deal, I typically start reminding you like a month in advance. And also, my system automatically reminds you as well. But I like to do it manually. But I like to remind you guys, if you bought the Black Friday deal, it's going to recur around Black Friday, right around when you bought it. So make sure you're keeping track of that. Which we will have another Black Friday deal this year. I actually plan on having a Discord discount in a week or two. Probably like second week of September. And then that will probably be the last discount until Black Friday. But yeah, you just got to keep track of your recurring payments is my entire point, basically. It happens with everything nowadays. Everything is literally recurring subscriptions. Sam, to answer your question without going over my tax statements, I've been streaming like this pretty much the exact same way since 2018 when I had like no viewers. So whether or not you guys would be using the code and supporting the channel that way, I'd probably still be streaming the exact same way that I am. The code obviously just helps. You guys show your support by doing something that costs you literally nothing. Nothing extra, right? You're still paying for the accounts. But you'd be buying the accounts anyway. You're just using my code to support the channel. So it costs you nothing extra to throw a little commission my way as a thank you for watching the stream or gaining value from the indicators or gaining value from literally anything that I do. So yes, it definitely supports, it definitely helps. I 100% appreciate you guys using that code. But to think that I'm only streaming because you guys are using the code and supporting me that way, I literally streamed for years the exact same way with no supporters like whatsoever. So hopefully that answers your question. A lot of new viewers in here, you guys have to understand, I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been streaming since January of 2018. Damn near the exact same way that I'm doing it now. Just obviously different flashing colors on the screen, different platforms. We've gone through a lot of platforms throughout the years. I've definitely calmed down throughout the years. We definitely were a lot more exciting when we first started, mostly crypto and penny stocks, all the fun gambling stuff. Now we're just along the lines of keeping it consistent and treating it more like an actual 9-to-5 day-to-day job instead of like a casino, right? I wasn't fully treating it like a casino in the beginning, but I had to multiply my capital very quickly. So I definitely had to take a lot more risk in the beginning. And now I can just kind of coast and just keep doing what I'm doing and be consistent. I don't have to take those massive risky plays. Yeah, I know a lot of people have talked to me about getting other affiliate codes with these other big prop firms. You guys know my thoughts on that. I'm not one of those streamers that likes to put a million codes on stream and just kind of milk you guys for every dollar that you guys have. But yeah, I'll think about it in the future, possibly. Maybe get one or two more. Who knows? But I'm really happy working with Apex. I don't have any complaints about Apex. They've been very consistent throughout the years. They have very high payouts. They're obviously not trying to scam people. I like working with companies that I know are going to be trustworthy and last a long time, because in the beginning of my streaming, I used to constantly work with different crypto firms, and you guys know how that turned out. As basically playing hot potato, going from crypto firm to crypto firm. And I really don't like doing that as a person who is building a community. Like, hey guys, go try this out. Oh, okay, they kind of scammed us or they went under. Okay, guys, let's go try this one. Oh, that one's bad. All right, let's go try this other one. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But now that a lot of these other prop firms have been around for a while, they are kind of, they've got high payouts, they're more trustworthy, that sort of thing. It's not as bad. All right, hopefully we can get away from this POC. We're just stuck in this ridiculously wide, long-legged doji here. We want to build a node of around 25 or higher, or below 10 or lower. Yeah, the finance space is really riddled with scammers, and it gives the finance space a really bad rap. That's why I don't really collab with people I don't really talk about other streamers. I just do my own thing. I stay in my own lane. I do not want to play that high school fucking influencer influencer game, right? Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Ringo. Did I miss anybody in here? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Reminder while we're on the subject, I guess. It is the last week of the month, so be sure to send me any receipts if you guys did use our code anytime during August, and that goes for the end of August as well. Go ahead and send over those receipts to that email. Just be sure to put raffle or something like that in the subject line. I need to be able to see your account size, the date you purchased it, and the receipt number or like invoice number, whatever it is. And I will give you raffle tickets according to like whatever size it is. So 50K is 1, 100K is 2, so on and so forth. If you guys are new here, we do these raffles every single month. I pull Discord prizes and tutoring prizes. I used to do cash prizes, but it's kind of frowned upon from Apex. It's really in a gray area, and it's kind of pushing the line. You're really not supposed to do stuff like that with cash prizes, so I just took away the cash prizes, and now we just do the Discord and the tutoring. You can't, like, pay people to buy accounts, basically. And that's not what I'm doing, but it's really close to that. So once I talked to my rep about that, I just stopped doing it. Good morning, Sam. You said, do we get a trial of your indicators, Rue? Yes, if you use the code, just send me an email, same exact email, and then just let me know what your TradingView username is. If you send me an email over the last couple of days, I am behind a little bit. If you do not hear back from me by tomorrow, go ahead and resend your email. My email, now that it's like public on my website and on the disc or on the stream, it's just flooded with bullshit. Flooded with spam and flooded with literally every single prop firm you can think of sending me affiliate requests. People asking me for marketing, people asking me to edit my videos, like, I mean, you name it. Want to mark? Yeah, just send me the most recent receipt and then your TradingView username, and I'll get you added to the indicators. And you don't have to, but if they do help you get funded, and definitely if they help you get a payout, if you want to let me know, you don't even have to make it public. If you just want to let me know in an email or Discord or whatever, that'd be awesome. I do like hearing back from you guys. Is August usually a slow month for the market? People say it's like that summer downtime, like you have June, July, August. I don't really agree with the summer downtime that much. This year, we definitely did see it a bit more. We did see the volume drop off quite a bit. But for the most part, I don't really see a massive difference in how I trade or like the amount of trades you can get per day. I don't see a really big difference. September is usually the worst month of the year. September and like February, January, around that time. Those are usually pretty bad months. Either like lack of volume or just really choppy and sloppy. Not getting a ton of your clean trades. So I am a little bit worried for September coming up. But August is usually not a big deal. It's also a midterm year, so we're going to be getting into all that bullshit with all the politics and the headlines pushing us around from the politics stuff coming up pretty soon. That's going to be towards, obviously, the end of the year. Which, a reminder for you guys that are new here, we do not do politics in this channel, so if you guys start spewing that shit in this channel, especially around the midterm time, you will catch a quick ban. I am so beyond tired of the polarizing politics shit. We just do not do it in the channel. We're not going to be talking about it. If it pertains to the market and they're making like big headlines about like what they'll do with the market and stuff like that, maybe we'll talk about it. But as far as like who's winning, who's losing, what are they saying, all that bullshit, we're not going to talk about it. I'm not a politics channel. So just giving you guys a forewarning, if you're talking about that stuff, you will catch a quick ban. They say we're on track for the lowest volume week since 2004. I don't know how that's true. That might be like the grand scheme, like the market as a whole. That's definitely not true for ES. Because the volume this week is by far larger than a couple of weeks that we saw like a month or two ago, right? The last month or so. So definitely not ES, but maybe the market as a whole. Hey, Stream, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for the donation. It's funny you say that. I haven't been drinking coffee a lot recently, and I was literally thinking today, I was like, I'm gonna have some coffee today. That's really funny. You donated that. I've been cut caffeine quite a bit. I still chew my caffeine gum, but I haven't had coffee too much. You can probably tell the last like 3 to 4 months I'm not as wired in the morning. As a whole, I think, yeah, it makes more sense as a whole, as the entire market, but definitely seeing good volume on the S&P. Yeah, I can't do tea, man. Everyone's always told me like try this tea, try this tea, try this tea. I've tried so many teas, I just can't do it. I don't like it. Neurogum and Flux are the two best things I've learned from the US aside from everything trading. Yeah. Yeah, Flux is amazing. If you're sitting on the computer all day, Flux is definitely a big help. It's really helped reduce my eye strain. And then Neurogum is really good as well. Just don't eat them like they're candy. Man, we are just in a wait and see type of market. We just cannot get out of this value here. You're not even doing full rotations. You're stuck in like a half rotation. What's Flux? Flux is a blue light protection. So it's an open source free program you can download, and it connects all of your monitors together, and it adjusts the blue light throughout the day. So as the day goes on, it gets darker and darker. It will slowly adjust your brightness and your blue light from your monitors, so they're not burning your eyeballs at 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Yeah, it really helps if you have a bunch of monitors like I do. If you're trading and you have a bunch of monitors, it just automatically adjusts them, and you don't even notice it. It slowly adjusts them throughout the day, so you really can't even tell the difference. I usually can only tell the difference if it's like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Because I have my settings set to like be very orange. It like completely takes the blue light out late at night. It's funny because I'll stream the UFC events for my friends sometimes because they'll be working or something, and they'll want to watch UFC from the Discord, and they'll tell me to turn off my flux because it makes the UFC fights look really bad because it completely takes out all the blue light. No, literally, it burns your eyeballs, man. If you're sitting on the desk for 10, 12 hours a day, you get a lot of eye strain. You are starting to trend a little bit. Notice the EMAs here. You're putting in higher lows above the EMAs. So keep an eye on these EMAs. If you stay above that 24, you're starting to push this upper trend. If you can stay above 25, build a node around 25 to 30, it does look a lot stronger. Here is the official website if you guys want to do the flux thing. Yeah, you can instantly notice the difference, but then after a few days, you'll just get completely used to it. You won't even notice it. And if you're doing something on your monitor, like if you're doing like, I don't know, like artwork or like making something that the colors really matter, you can disable it for one monitor instead of turning it off entirely. So if you want to see like true color, you can disable it. I actually never noticed you guys could see it on stream until we had that one time where I changed my settings a lot and you guys were telling me in stream, you're like, why does your stream look so damn orange? And it took us a while to figure out is because you guys could see my flux. So it actually impacts the what's on your monitor. It doesn't actually, it's not just for me. You guys can see the difference. It's probably why my stream seems a little bit more muted than other streams. Okay, this is definitely starting a little trend here. You're staying above the EMAs. Delta's a little bit weak. Let's see if we can build a node at 25 to 30 here. Time is War speaking. He's speaking at 10 tomorrow. We might show that on stream. I forget how they feel about showing the symposium stuff. Because sometimes they take my stream down if I show certain press conferences because they have like exclusive rights to show it or some bullshit. They don't care about the FOMC ones. That's usually why we show them on stream. He is speaking tomorrow at 10 o'clock, so we'll test it out. Do I trade more in the AM or the PM? Usually in the mornings. It's not by much, though. It's probably like one more trade. Because I don't trade a lot, period. I only take a few trades. So sometimes you find more opportunity in the morning. Really, what takes the number down is the afternoon trades. You're typically not going back and forth a lot. You're typically in like one or two trades that you're just holding on to. Okay, they are building a little bit of a node here at 25. Let's see if they can actually protect it. The next level would be around 50, so you do have a bit of a move up here. Yeah, Sam, so normally I do one big series a year. It's typically around this time. This year I'm probably skipping, honestly, because the series that we put out last year, the Becoming an Apex Trader series, that was probably my most in-depth series that I've done so far. And I really don't know what I would do for a series this year. Like, it would literally just be remaking that one. So I'd rather just have you guys continue to watch that one, at least for now. Possibly have make a new series next year. But I have really nothing to update on that series. That series is still 100% up to date. So most likely not making a big one this year. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Sam. I was thinking about like a one episode, just like refresher, just kind of me kind of going through that series, and just talking about like little key points here and there. Just like a refresh, like, hey guys, I'm not making another series. Check this one out, and here's like the key things you want to keep an eye on, or something like that. So I might do something along those lines, just to refresh that series. Okay, very strong 30-minute close coming up here. If they can stay above 25 on this next 30-minute candle, still looking for that 50 level. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You could see that change in how they were respecting the EMAs. You were just chopping sideways, but then it started staying above that 24. You were kind of trending around that 20 area, and now we're seeing the uh, the result of that. So here's the retest of that 25 node. We'll see if they can actually stay above it here. They do not want to see too much value back below that 24, 23 area. Do I trade London session? No, not usually. No, I haven't, CB. Keep it on VWAP on NASDAQ here. 540 coming up. They are still holding this node. They're not losing the 25 node. You're not finding those buyers above it, but so far so good. Good morning, Bella. Keep an eye on these 24s here. You do have a little bit of a rollover if you lose this 25 node. They're really struggling to find buyers above 25. Do we have anything else on the calendar for today? I don't think we do. Just later in the day we have Jackson Hole, but that's way after hours. Yes, buyers are way stronger than NASDAQ today. It's probably because NASDAQ's being pulled around by the tech stocks a lot more. It has a direct correlation today because of the NVIDIA earnings. We were seeing this pattern quite a bit a couple months ago when we were pushing all-time high. When we were pushing all-time high, you had that strong candle, then you'd have like a doji, and then you'd have the bottom half of the doji getting a lot of bearish delta, but it'd be absorbed, and then it would go up anyway, right? I don't know if we're back into that pattern, but you're seeing a similar one here. That bearish delta getting stuck. We'll see if we can push that overnight high around that 40. Our target's around 50-ish. Okay, so you don't have that rollover anymore. So momentum is definitely going back up. You're bouncing off the 24 still. And this goes all the way back to when you bounced off VWAP. So you were chopping through VWAP, then you bounced off it around 1013-ish. And we have stayed above that 24 the entire time. Still getting block trades as well. A lot of block trades today. Keep an eye on the overnight high and then that value level. It's a really old value level. It goes back to last Wednesday. I opened the Flux link. It says I have to get a kit from Amazon. Um, if you went to the Flux link that I sent, it's just like a one button thing. The link that I sent, I'll send it again if you guys don't have it. It should just have like a very simple download link, and that's it. It's just software. It's not like it's not like a physical thing for your lights. They might have something like that, but I just use the software. Keep it on the overnight high around 41. Oh, they have like actual physical things for your lights? That's crazy. No, I just use the software. I have I forget what they're called. They're like those standing lights that are you can control them on your phone. They're like RGB. You can set the colors and the settings and whatnot. I use those. And those just have like a similar thing. They've got like night mode and day mode and shit like that. But keep an eye on this pattern. Like I was saying, they put in this pattern where the sellers try to push down, but that delta gets kind of stuck and exhausted, and then you push back up to the high of the candle. So we'll see if the new candle does that same thing. Here comes that 41 overnight high. Okay, we are seeing that same pattern, kind of. You see the lower half of the candle getting a lot of bearish delta, but it is getting exhausted. They're not finding any momentum towards the low. But this is a very standard node building process where they push up, the sellers fight back a little bit, but the sellers get exhausted, so then they keep finding higher value. And they just keep doing that until the sellers don't get exhausted anymore. So back to back, you have these two candles doing that same exact pattern. Here is that overnight high target, and then our next target is that value level around 50. Now we are extending the upper tail, so when this candle closes, you will have single prints going back to 37 if it's above 37, right? Yeah, it's kind of like a vertical distribution. That pattern is very similar. While we're looking for a top, it's showing a little bit of exhaustion for sure. There is a pivot up here, which there is exhaustion on the buy side. The buyers are just a little weak. Overnight high is also the weekly high. You can use limits if you're just really okay with that level. Like you're just like, yeah, whatever. I don't really need more. I don't need to leave a runner. If you just really accept that level as as a as a good place to exit. Keep an eye on the 24 EMA here. You've completely lost it on NASDAQ. NASDAQ might be leading here. If you keep getting those lower highs and lower lows, you're looking for VWAP. Yeah, you might have like one single print, but it's trying to fix it right now. How's Nvidia holding up? It's still holding its move. It's actually near high of day. Not doing too bad. Volume dropping off quite a bit on this candle. We were holding up pretty much the entire time. Now we are dropping off quite a bit. Down about 40k, 30k. And here's that exhaustion we were talking about with the pivot. So Momo exhaustion, and then top pivot, literally the top candle of the day. So now we're pulling back to that trail. Possibly a waterfall, maybe the 5-minute trail back down to 28. We have lost that 1-minute trail. Keep it on VWAP, pulling you back down 545 and then 22. Do you see the difference here? Now we have that bearish value on the bottom of the candle, but look at how the candle closed. Closed very weak. And we're already pushing below it. Compared to this candle, we have that delta down here, but look at where we closed. We closed way on the high. No, this is just a Microsoft app. It's called Widget Launcher. And it's got a bunch of different widgets you can put on your screen. Bounce back into the 24. So far, it is being protected by the sellers. Keep an eye on that because they're trying to shift that trend. The buyers have been protecting that since like 10 o'clock, 10:15. And now the sellers are trying to take that over. As long as they hold below it, you're being pushed right back down to VWAP, which is also going right back into that rotation. All right, guys, on that note, we are going to call it there. I appreciate you guys being here. One more reminder, because it is the last week of the month, be sure to send me any receipts you used the code BREW for in August. Be sure to send those before, I think, what did I say, Tuesday or Wednesday? Whatever, like, the first day of the month is. Just have them sent to me by the first or second day of September. So if you buy any accounts on, like, the last day of August, just send them in, like, a day or two, and you should be fine. And I'll start responding to those emails starting probably tomorrow. So I'll start responding, letting you guys know that I have received your receipts. So if I don't respond to you before the raffle is pulled, make sure to resend them. But yeah, you'll have until like Wednesday or something like that. But yeah, keep an eye on the rotation back down. If we stay below that 24, we are going back to VWAP and then back down to that value rotation. If it can reclaim that 24, then we just keep going back up, possibly to like 50. Those value levels to the upside. If you guys are in Discord, I will be streaming there for the rest of the day. If you guys are not in Discord, I will see you guys tomorrow. Apex is still doing their 90% off sale with the legacy accounts coming back as well. So if you guys want to get legacy accounts, you have a few days to do that as well. The legacy accounts, they do recur. They recur at 80%, I believe. Just double check on the promotion. But those are the accounts that don't expire every month. So when you buy them, they do recur and reset if you have failed them. If you guys enjoyed the stream, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace, everybody.